So, hey everyone, this is Bob Cargill, president of the Greater Framingham Running Club. I'm holding the camera, and you are looking at Rich Busa, the 87-year-old legendary runner. Rich, we are delighted to be talking to you this morning. We're here on Busa Hill. Let me show the folks Busa Hill. We're looking up at it. We're at the foot of it, and this is part of the course for the upcoming 14th annual Busa Bushwhack Trail Race. And Rich, I wanted to ask about some of your many running accomplishments and snowshoe accomplishments. I don't know if everybody knows how much snowshoeing you've done over the years, but tell us about some of the highlights of your athletic career.
Yeah, snowshoeing is a funny thing. How I got into it. I belong to the Western Mass Athletic Club too. That's where I used to do all my trail racing, and one of the organizers of the races in 1998 or 7, something like that. He started up snowshoeing, and they did a few races, and then in 1999. One day he said to me, why don't you try a snowshoe race? He said, it's a lot of fun. I said, I've never been on snowshoes. He said, I'll loan you a pair. So I was up in Savoy Mountain, up off the Mohawk Trail there, and he gave me the shoes. And back then they were the big 25-inch shoes. So I put them on and ran around the parking lot, and it just happened to be that was a terrible day. They had rain and sleet on top of the snow, so they had a thin crust of ice. And what they do in snowshoeing, when you have tough conditions, one person can't stay out front. So the top 10 or 12 runners alternate. One will run up ahead to break the trail and drop back, and they do that. That's how they do it.
Amazing.
And I probably caught my shoe coming up on the edge of the ice, and I don't know how many times I fell, but I finished the race.
Amazing.
And then I was hooked,
That's snowshoeing, Rich. And in terms of running, am I correct that you've done a bunch of 100-mile races in the past and some 50-mile races? How many of each? And can you summarize some of your long-distance running heroics for us?
Heroic. I was 61 when I did my first Vermont 100, and it's funny because it was a progression of things. I remember when I did my first marathon, and back then no one knew about other types of races, and the marathon was the ultimate. That was
you're right, 26.2.
And I was up in Burlington doing that marathon up there in Burlington, Vermont, and I saw this application for a 50-mile race. And I said, 50 miles, So I took the application, and the next year I signed up for it, and it was right in Essex Junction, Vermont, not too far from Burlington. And it was probably the worst course in the world. It started from a little elementary school and went up this road, which turned to gravel, and it was all uphill. And at 5 miles, you turned around and came back, and they did 5, 5, 5, 5.
Oh, monotonous.
And I only went to see how far I could go beyond a marathon. And then all of a sudden I was at mile 35, and pardon me, but I said, holy shit, I'm gonna finish this thing.
Good for you, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
and it was a 50-mile total?
Yeah. Then the following year when I did Burlington Marathon again, I saw an application for a 100-mile race up in Woodstock, Vermont. And I absolutely couldn't believe that. So, same thing. I said, I'm going to go and try that and see how far I can go.
How old were you then?
61.
61, and you did that 100-mile race up in Vermont?
Yeah.
And that was one of how many 100-mile races you've done?
8.
8. Yeah. All at the age of 61 or older?
Yeah.
When was the last 100-mile run you did?
73 it was. Yeah.
You were 73 years old?
Yeah, yeah.
And when is the last marathon you did?
Last marathon, I'm not sure. I think it was the one up in Topsfield there, the
Okay.
Stonecat.
Stonecat.
Yeah.
About how many marathons have you done over the
Oh,
years?
jeez.
Can't even keep track?
Yeah.
10, 20, 30?
Between
Yeah.
marathons and longer distances, I got around 150, something like that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Rich,
but I started late. That's the problem.
when did you start running?
Well, I started running in 45, but on my own.
Gotcha, yeah.
No, I never.
But you've had an amazing career.
Yeah.
You know that. You're an inspiration to so many of us, Rich. You do know that.
Yeah,
I'm telling you that. You are an inspiration.
But you never want to limit yourself. I mean, if you go and fail, at least you made. You found out, you satisfied yourself. The worst thing in the world is to, end your days and wondering, what if, go find out.
Love that. I agree. Totally. Thank you, Rich.